Okay, we're on. Before I turn on the Instagram and get into the topic, I want to thank the sponsors, Taurus USA, Riton Optics, Kenzies Optics, of course, Crossbreed Holsters. Big thank you to all of them. Appreciate them. Appreciate everything they do for the podcast. Please check us out at www.johnbartoloshow.com. Take a minute to check us out on Podbean. If you do not have iTunes, of course we're on iTunes, check out Podbean. We are available there. We stream on YouTube and a few other platforms, sometimes Periscope, depending on the connection, Facebook, and all the different platforms. Please take a minute to share, like, and subscribe to all these different things. It's awesome. I really appreciate it. So that does not go unnoticed. So thank you guys to everyone who supports the podcast. YouTube is our biggest one. Head over to YouTube and please share, comment, like, subscribe, view. Would appreciate it if everybody does. It's super cool when you do. Helpful. Just getting started. So every little bit helps. So can't thank you guys enough. A lot of fun. It's been fun the last few weeks. We're going to get into an interesting topic. We're going to give some stuff away. We're going to give away a Condition 1 case, so big thank you to Condition 1. We're going to give away a few more mags from Mission First Tactical. It's always important when you thank those folks. We're going to get into prepping. So, what is prepping? And there's a little satire here. So, there's a little satire here with the prepping, but I want to get some people's definition of prepping or where their definition of prepping comes from. And this is going to be a really fun topic. And I'm not, to those of you that want to take this ridiculously seriously, this is not the place. We'll get into some serious prepping and what I think makes sense for serious prepping, but a lot of this is going to be done with tongue in cheek because we know that you're nuts. Okay, so let's kind of back into this and have a little fun with it. And I need to get somebody on the live to give me their definition of prepping and somebody to give me their kind of understanding of what prepping is. So we have a baseline. I always like to have a baseline of what prep or prepping or what's up, guys, what's up. We're going to give that case away too. So I'm going to set up the post, but I need somebody to come on and do the commentary on the prepping and what prepping is and what their definition of prepping is. I know Cassie won't. She's scared or what she thinks prepping is. But she started the topic. So I'm going to type this up, but what do you think prepping is? What is prepping? What's a prepper? What are those things? It's going to be interesting. Let's see. We'll pin that. So Cassie, I know you don't have the guts to come on. We're going to get a few people in here first. Please share this as I prep the YouTube here, guys. I'm just getting the YouTube ready. I'm getting this all kind of ironed out. But I think this will be pretty badass. And we'll get it done. But who wants to comment on prepping? Who wants to give me their understanding of what prepping is? Kind of give me your understanding. We only care about handguns, I assume, in our daily prep and EDC bag. There's something to be said about that. I'm going to get into that. I'll get into that. Cassie, I know you won't go live, but I'm not going to read your stuff unless you do. It's hard for me. I will. I will read your stuff. So Cassie writes, and she started this, prepping is being prepared for any and everything as much as possible. And she says, you're right, I'm not going to go live. So here's the deal. Here's how we're going to approach this. We're going to break this down into a couple of different things. And I'm going to be serious for a second, okay? serious. Prepping and bug out bags and everything in between are all really separate categories. And it depends on, there's preppers out there that make sense. There's prepping that makes sense. And there's prepping that does not make sense. And we're going to get into that. I'm just typing up the header for all this. So I want to get into all those different definitions. And we're going to give away the Condition 1 case. And I still have some mags and some stuff left over. So let's see. All right. The titling's all set. Everything's all set on YouTube. Everything's dialed in. So here we go. Episode 21. We're all done. Sometimes I don't know where the time goes in a day. I fucking lose track of everything. So, first off, what is prepping? So people say it's about being prepared. It's about preparation. It's about this. It's about that. Okay? So let's get into the topic a little bit. There are people that prep for storms, that live in Florida, that live in these environmentally unfriendly places, if you will. I get that. That all makes sense. It makes total sense to be prepared for that. But it's be prepared in the Boy Scout sense of the word. And where a lot of that stems from, or this prepper mentality, I believe stems from, is the idea that when there's a flood and there's a catastrophic incident or act of God incident, people panic and people do crazy things. And there's truth to that. There's a lot of truth to that. And people begin doing what's called prepping. Now, there's been this huge shift in prepping, and it's because of stuff like zombie fever, okay? Whether it's zombie television, whether it's this, whether it's that we have to be prepared for a zombie invasion. And that's something different. I've been in some crazy prepped out people's houses and stuff. First, let me give you some understanding of where I'm at as a prepper. Do I have a bug out bag? Yes. Do I have 2 bug out bags? Yes. Do I check them all the time? No. Do I have a car that has some stuff in it? Yes. Am I a bigger advocate that if you have the guns, you can take whatever you want? Yes. Yes. I prescribe to the theory that I'm going to get there, Cassie. I'm going to get there. But I prescribe to the theory that when it happens, whatever it is, you're going to want to be on the move. So I look at things, whether it's about your vehicle or whatever it is, that there's a good chance you're going to have to move. If you're north and there's a deep freeze, you're going to have to go south. If you're south, you may have to go north. You may have to get things. Dima will get there. You may have to get things. You may have to procure things. So we're going to get to all that stuff. Now, it's not about quantity. That's a good way to put it, 2A. It's not about quantity. If you're going to prep and prep successfully, I think the number one thing is be organized. Be organized. And understand what your skill set is. If you're really proficient with firearms, and you're really proficient with shooting and all that stuff, you're going to be able to procure what you need on the road. If you're not proficient with those things, it's not going to work. What's in my prep bag? Or what do I keep in my prep bag and why? And what do I prep for? Okay. So I prep particularly for what I call the unforeseen. Okay? The unforeseen. And we're going to get into that training part. The unforeseen. What the unforeseen is, I don't believe it's a zombie invasion. Okay? There are things I have. I'll give you like the 8 or 10 basic things I have because I wrote them down. A life straw. Few bottles of water. I'm not as worried about water. I'll be able to get more. Okay? Protein bars. Food. You're going to need food. You can go an extended period of time without food, though you're not going to be happy. And you're not going to be comfortable. So things like jerky I have in there and protein bars, mainly protein bars. So if you have 15 protein bars, theoretically, you could survive on that for a decent period of time. And a few bags of jerky. It's just my bags are meant to get me from A to B, so we can debate the food thing all day. You know, but I think there's about a box of bars in there and about 4 or 5 bags of jerky, but it wouldn't be hard for me to grab more. I have a basic medical kit. Basic. I have a basic survival kit. One of those little camping survival kits that has like the poncho. It has the basics in there. The very basic stuff. Okay? I have socks. Fresh socks. And underwear. Shirt. I don't want to get into the particulars because I have tourniquet in there. Like when I say basic, I say a basic field kit, which would include a tourniquet and include the basics. So like if you're familiar with, I'll give you the brands. So if you're familiar with Pocket Doc, I have one of the Dark Angel medical kits. And then I have like a basic Band-Aids boo-boo kit, what I call like a boo-boo kit. You should have a boo-boo kit with some Neosporin, basic stuff. Very basic. And you can take a lot of your... They put expiration dates on that stuff, but they don't really expire. I recommend one of the most overlooked things, you guys, in a kit, because I'm going to stop right there at socks, underwear, and pants. That's a very overlooked thing. Neosporin is overlooked. Then the biggest things I make sure I have in my prep kit are flares, like road flares. And you can buy these at any boat shop. The flares that shoot up. Those to me are the absolute basics. We can get into baby wipes and all that stuff. Rubbing alcohol. But you have to factor in weight and how much something weighs and what we're getting into for weight. And I'm not getting into firearms and ammo and all that just yet. I'm sticking with the basics. Flares are great. You can start fires with them, all that. Of course I have, like I said, a basic camping kit. And everybody knows what I'm talking about. You can go for $10 and buy like one of those basic camping kits. And it'll have pretty much everything in it you need. There's companies out there that will give you kind of the line items like Echo Sigma. And there's brands out there that'll give you the line items of things. Weight becomes a big issue. So weight is really important to me. Don't overdo the weight. If you overdo the weight, it's going to be a problem for you to get around. So how big of a bag are we talking about? It should not be bigger than a simple pack from 511, a simple backpack. So what I have is, I have a simple backpack. Then I have a duffel bag, and I have a secondary backpack that's made up. So the secondary has all the same things that the first bag has. It's just redundancy. And the reason I do that is if I'm with somebody else, I'm going to be like, grab that bag. If I'm not with somebody else, don't grab that bag. The second bag that's a duffel bag is the bag that's going to have your vest, your ammo, your gun, your this, your that. I keep 3 guns in my bag, in my duffel. The 3 guns in my duffel bag, the 3 guns I keep in my duffel bag are an AR, a Glock, and a backup handgun. So how can you utilize your gear? It's good to have Bugout points. So my biggest Bugout point is be able to move and move quickly. The situation will change. It'll dictate different things. Okay? So you need to be able to be fluid and be able to move. I keep holsters. Shotgun's useless. Too much weight, too few rounds. Just those 3 guns, Dima. That's it. The guns become weight. I'd rather have the ammo. My gun belt is in that duffel bag, so when I put the gun belt on, it's good to go. It has my mags in it, everything. In that duffel bag, I have about 500 rounds of 9, if I remember correctly. And I have 3 mags full on my plate carrier. And I have another 3 mags full. And I have 1 extended, I believe it's a 60 rounder. So I have access to 120, 180 rounds. Okay? Everything to me is about the size. And you want to have the perfect compact system to move. Yes, you have to worry about EMP. EMP is a distinct possibility, but the EMP, from what I understand about EMP, is something that only has a large enough distance. So if you're in a city, EMP is going to be a big concern. But I don't want to get into scenarios and scenario-based training because we could go off for hours on scenarios. I'm just giving you some insight into what I have. And you guys are welcome to chime in, give input, give your 2 cents on what you think makes sense. There's a lot of people out there that think a 22 is the most important thing in your Bugout bag. There's people that believe that. A 22 would make the most sense. It's light. It's not heavy. You can you can move quickly with it. That's something, that's a consideration. Could be something like that. It's light. That's the thing, Dima. Now, the reason I say only 3 guns, okay, is let's say it's a crazy scenario, okay? There's going to be plenty of guns on the floor. You'll be able to take guns from people. Everybody's going to have guns. So why do you need more? The biggest thing you need is ammo. That's going to be the tradable commodity. So, yes, I do have storage units. And if you have to remember something, guys. Keep things in perspective. 6 AR mags is heavy. That's a lot of mags. Unless you're laying down suppressive fire in a firefight, spreading 60, 90 rounds, that's a lot of rounds. And I don't know if anybody in this live, because I don't know who's in here, has walked or trained with a rifle, and you know how heavy it is. You're going to make sure you have a good sling. and even have a backup sling. That's potentially about 15 pounds. That's right. So all of these things, and if I leave you guys with anything, I stress this. Ounces become pounds. Ounces become pounds. So you want to be very careful how and why you pack things. Now think of the things I just rattled off. Protein bars, water, Life Straw, flares. I have a rope. I have rope and zip ties. Zip ties. I have a lot of zip ties. Zip ties you can do anything with. Duct tape, a basic camping kit, a basic medical kit. You say most of all pack your knowledge. I believe that. So you have to remember this is just a bag. So if you pack this bag, you pack a duffel bag. And let's say, Cassie, let's stay with the theory that more so than a tarp, I would recommend a sleeping bag. You know, to have a sleeping bag close by that you could toss into the car or toss into whatever situation. But yes, a tarp is helpful. But I definitely recommend a change of clothes. That is probably the most overlooked thing in a bug out bag. Without question, is a change of clothes. Most people don't realize I need to pack fresh socks, fresh underwear, a fresh shirt. And you probably want to have that fresh stuff be either Under Armour stuff or easy to wash stuff. So think about a package of socks, guys. And think about that in a bag. Got to think about these things. Okay? The likelihood of you getting jungle rock, Cassie, is pretty slim. But you want to think about these things in the space that it's going to take up. So I definitely recommend at least one change, because if you're humping for a whole day, you're going to want to change into fresh stuff the second day. You're going to want to be able to move for a 24 to 48 hour period and have enough stuff to get from A to B. But when you get to B, you have to shake down your gear, and you're going to have to have clean gear. Socks. 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 Now, I recommend it be viewed as almost a 24 to 48 hour bag with the potential to last you up to a week pretty easily. Pretty easily. And you're going to want to have tradable commodities. Ammo is a tradable commodity. You know, those things. You know, think it through. Think it through. But think about your pack. So as far as my design of my bag and how I structure it, it's my backpack that goes right on. And then it's a duffel bag. And that duffel bag is set up with all the things that I need. I recommend a hiker's bag. I would look at Eberly stock. I would look at Mystery Ranch. Something like that. Something very durable. So that's a good question. Getting into like recommendations. Okay? And Mark Rigdon brings a good point. You can take what you want with ammo. Ammo is going to be more important. Yes, you need a few bottles of water. Yes, you need protein bars and some jerky. You know, you're going to need those things. You should have at the least 72 hours worth of food so you can keep your wits about you, your head about you, that you could stretch out potentially for longer if you had to. So basically, like the first 2 days, you have what you need. I'm not going to get into, it's easy to go down wormholes, Cassie. I'm not going to get into like what boots you should have on or what pants. Yes, if you have the opportunity to put proper boots on, good hiking boots, do it. If you have the opportunity to put the right pants on, do it. But you may be in jeans and a t-shirt, which is why I stress, at the very least, pack an old pair of tack pants or pocket pants, something you can put a lot of stuff in. Okay? And I know people that when they roll up their pants and they put them in the bag, they put like a multi-tool in there, they put a pen, they put markers, they put all those different things in there. They put tape, marking ribbon. So I would recommend definitely a hiker's bag. I would recommend definitely a quality product, something that's gonna be durable, that's gonna take the beating. But you also want to pack and have prepped all the durable stuff, the durables that you'll need. Good boots, good pants, extra socks, all that stuff. I say this all kind of tongue-in-cheek because people tend to take it overboard and they start getting into what they prep in their house. I recommend Mystery Ranch or Eberly Stock. One or the other is going to be the right fit. I'm not familiar with Osprey bags, as familiar with them. I think they're a little flashy for my taste. You can get into all the different kinds of camo. You can get into all the stuff that's kept in your house. Like people I know have months of jarred goods and all these things. Like they're going to hide in the basement. I think, yeah. I mean, if you want to keep in your, let me put it to you this way, guys. If you want to keep in your house some ramen noodles, some preserves, some extra stuff frozen, do it. Do it. Don't hesitate. Do it. But I wouldn't keep more than a couple weeks because you're probably going to want to move. Now, short of a nuclear bomb being dropped and you not wanting to be involved in the fallout and you are going to barricade yourself where you are right now, there's a solid chance you'd have enough, even right now, to get by for 2 weeks. It's pretty solid. If I filled the tub with water right now, if I sprinted, corked it and filled it with water, and I looked in my freezer, I could probably have enough in there to get me through 2 weeks. Okay? That's where I think people go a little overboard. Most people have a week to a week and a half worth of food in their house anyway. After that, you're going to want to get out and get on the move. I don't buy into the scenario of you're going to barricade in. You know, I don't get into that. But we're talking and focusing more on the Bugout bag, which essentially assumes that you'd be on the move. You'd be on the move. If you don't have access to any of your gear, you're fucked. You better hope you have a gun, and you better be able to take it. That's where you're going to have to probably loot it, or you're going to have to get it somewhere else. You know, in my car alone, because I have truck vaults, I know I have plate carriers, I have ammo. The first place I'm going is a grocery store or Walmart. And I'm taking what I need. And I can build a bag right there. That's number one. Or I can get to my storage. Chances are there's not going to be a lot of people going to storage. So that's a distinct possibility. I can go there. So you have to think this through. Okay? You have to think it through. What's your strategy? Chances are you're going to want to be in the move. You're going to want to be on the move. I'm headed to the mom and pop pharmacy and pet supply. Okay. So there you go. So there you go. You have a plan. Have a plan. Whatever you do, have a little bit of an action plan for each scenario in your head. Because if you have an action plan in your head that you've thought out, that you kind of have your arms around a little bit, when it happens, you'll be able to act because you'll have some reference. You'll have a little bit of like, okay, if this happens, I'm going to do this. You have to think about it like a flip book. If this happens, I'll do this. If that happens, I'll do this. Yes, things go worse when you least expect it. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get all your gear on properly. Okay? Yeah, but Cassie, you're not going to want to do that. You want to know why? And I don't know how much training you've had. If you're going to want to, for those first few days, really perform at the highest level, you're going to want to have quality food, quality water, especially for the first few days. The first few days, you're going to want to be well fed, well supplied, well watered, so you can move. Because that's when you're going to be displacing the most energy, in my humble opinion. You know, that's when you're going to want it. So you're going to want to have top quality gear, top quality stuff, spend the money, set it up for success. But John, basically got a good idea having a mobile pack in your truck, car, whatever. Yes, ultra. I agree with that, Cassie, but I think everybody's going to be so focused on gathering that it's going to be pretty simple. Absolutely. So I will show you guys an example of what I think a good bag would look like, and what I think makes sense, or a baseline bag you should start with. Okay, so I'll give you guys some understanding. Let me get the bag for a split second. Here it is. So for those of you on YouTube, this is an Eberly stock bag. Something like this. It's got a bladder. It's small, but it's got all the pockets in the right places. And I have probably 100 bags. So this is really simple. Small and easy. Super thin, easy. A bag like this on Eberly stock goes for about $125, or 100. Actually, it's probably like $185 bag. I'm gonna give you the exact make of it. I'm gonna give you the exact make. So, something like this is going to make a lot of sense. I think this is their most streamlined pack. It's the Mini Me Hydration Pack, and it's $150. If I have this on, my plate carrier, and I have my duffel bag, I'm good to go. I'm out the door. And I'm on the move. And I guarantee you, even on foot, I'm going to move faster than any motherfuckers with 9 bags. And if I have to hump at miles, or I have to find a car, or I have to get in, I can move. And I can move with that bag. It comes with a water bladder. It's the Eberly Stock Mini Hydration Bag. A built-in bladder, all right here. This is perfect size. It's small. It's compact and it expands. It's an expandable bag. So if you want to expand it out, you can. So it can widen out nice, where I can get everything I need into this thing. It's got a lot of space. I can get an extra bladder in there. I can fit everything into it. So it's the Mini Me Hydration Pack. That's going to be something you're going to, if you're on the move, that's going to be something you want. You get your water built in, and you're out the door. Okay? You're going to want a good plate carrier. A good plate carrier with all your gear on it. Okay? Share. That's right. If you want to win the Condition 1 case, I need you guys to get more people in here. I'm not giving that away if there's like nobody in here. You go to their last post, go to my last post. Yeah, I don't know where they are. I know I was shadow banned last week. I'm shadow banned all the time. I'm shadow banned like permanently on live, so I get no live love. So I'm not worried about that. So my recommendation, guys, is move with speed. Move with speed. Move with speed. So I highly recommend you prepare for being able to move. I've seen people's bags, guys. I've seen situations where people want to pack these really big bags. If I have that and I have my duffel, and to give you guys perspective on my duffel and kind of how I set that up or how that bag's set up, okay, I can give you guys some reference on that. I keep, let's see if I can spin this around. Let's see. I keep that on the floor down there, that black one right there, that Vertex bag. That has my rifle in it, and it has plenty of mags and plenty of handguns. So that's that. But that's how you should be set up. It's that simple. I personally would not go heavy. You will regret it. If your car's running, you can throw shit in the car. You can throw shit in the back. And when you get to safety, you can sort it out. If you're in your house, you don't have to panic and throw everything in the middle of the room. You don't have to do that. Now, we can debate all day. Yeah, we're going to get to skills. We can debate all day. What's a better life straw? What's a better chest seal? What's a better this? What's a better that? I believe in speed. Speed kills. Be able to move. Be able to move and have what you need. As far as knowledge, I would have basic survival knowledge at a minimum. And I would have a knowledge of all the basic potential events that could occur. Have some understanding of weather, conditions. What are the, basically what are the top 10 things to know about surviving a hurricane? What are the top 10 things surviving a rainstorm? What are the top 10 things surviving a snowstorm? Have your basic bullet points in your head. We can get into self-defense training and pistol training and shooting training. Of course, we can debate all day what the best optic to have or all of that. But we're going to get into what you can afford. All of that. Cassie says 2 is 1 and 1 is none is my motto. That's probably true when it comes to things you need, like necessities, water, you know, but you don't need 5 blankets in there. You're not turning yourself into the local mission. That's why you might have a secondary bag, Cass, or a tertiary bag, that if you're with somebody else, you'd be like, here, grab this. Just grab it. Let's go. You can pack a compass and map, and we can get into all day having, Garmin's and things like that, but all that stuff. Yeah, a basic survival manual from an Army Navy store for $10 2A, something like that. Yeah, that's going to be great to have. That's going to be great to have. You know, anything like that. You know, a compass, a local map. Barring the fact that cities are totally destroyed, and every city probably won't be, that might be stuff you can get on the fly too. There's an Army Navy store down the street. If it goes down, you shoot out the Army Navy store, get what you need. Binoculars, all that stuff, it's great to have. Or you can use your scope on your rifle. You know, and we can debate having a red dot and maybe having a fixed scope are two good ideas. But again, it comes down to weight. It comes down to weight. How much weight do you want to carry? I'm a minimalist. I would go with minimums. Minimums. You can survive. People have survived for 7 days on a cap full of Gatorade. Albeit you're not going to be happy and your brain function's probably not going to be good. But you can survive for a long time. If I fill the whole bladder of that bag, okay, and that bladder holds... So if I have that Mini-Me hydration pack, and it has a hydration unit in it, and I want to give the exact, 3 liters, okay, 100 ounces, and I fill it with Gatorade, okay, 100 ounces, and you do a simple Google search. How much water do you need to survive a month? A month. Okay? How much water do you need to survive? Okay? What's up, Faction Knife Company? And you have to get into this. This is what's going to make sense. So, you're supposed to have 64 ounces or about 8 glasses of water each day. Okay? That's optimal. That's minimum. Okay? That's optimal. So if I have 100 ounces, how much do I think I can carry for 10 miles? I've worn a Fitbit during one of Tony's classes. I've worn a Fitbit, and I know that during his class you run about 10 miles. It's about 8 miles. Might be a little more or less. During one of Tony's classes, I would say that I could probably go, and I've done that with a rifle and a plate carrier. If you add in the bag, I would say, poundage there. Again, you're splitting hairs. Probably about, let's say, between 30 and 50 pounds, I think would be fair. I think that would be fair, strapped to my back. I don't know how fast I'm going to go. I don't know how fast I'd be. So this is from a Google search. At a bare minimum, men should strive for 3.7 liters or about 125 ounces per watt. No, this is at an absolute maximum. Like what's ideal is 3.7 liters. Okay? That's to operate at optimal condition. at the very minimum, you should have, at the minimum, you should be having 5 ounces a day. That's about a glass. Now, if you look at the extreme, how long can your body go without water? And there's been studies on this. You can go up to 21. Gandhi survived 21 days of complete starvation. But 60% of your body, your body needs water to function. So I don't believe people can go too long. 2 days to a week without fluids. I wouldn't recommend it because you won't perform at optimal condition. But if you start to think in context of this in a pure survival situation, you know, if this right here is 32 ounces. 32 ounces. But it's full of electrolytes. It's loaded with electrolytes. If I stuff 100 ounces of this, 3 of these in that bladder bag, and then let's say I have 3 more, okay? You would get sick, yes. And if I had like 3 or 4 more of these, and these are heavy, you're starting to get into this starts to get heavy. You can get by for you'll probably be okay for a minute. You'll be okay. Because that's loaded with electrolytes and sugar and all those things. And that's what you want. You want something like a heavy Gatorade. Something to stay hydrated. But you're going to want to look for water everywhere you go. But if you have something like this, you'll be in better shape than not. Now, yes, if you have access to your car, you're going to want to throw cases of water, you know, fill up a few huge bladders, build that out and have that to survive. I mean, that's just, your brain function wouldn't be too good if you don't have fluids, you know. Without them, you would get terribly sick or dehydrated or run down or have your body be beat up. I carry electrolyte tabs, many creeks between here and the spot. Yeah, I mean, if you have the opportunity to fill things up and store water or store electrolytes, those are going to be obviously more ideal situations, of course. Of course. But as far as being a minimalist and carrying a mini bag, you know, I think, Cassie, you'd want to pare down some of your stuff. I think you'd have a lot of stuff. You know, as far as your training goes and how, you know, you want your training to complement everything else, you're going to want to have those basic survival training skills, basic fire building skills, basic shelter building skills, all those basic things just in case. Yeah, you'd want to have a secondary bag 2A. You actually bring up a good point, but that's where the duffel comes in that you have your gear in. You'd roll that up and you'd put that in your bag, okay? You know, and maybe have another secondary bag or a couple garbage bags. Yeah, Cassie, having too much stuff is a major problem because then when you go to build out or move, you're not going to know what to grab. You're going to have so much stuff to grab. You're going to be like, you know, what am I grabbing? You know? So building out that pack and building out that scenario, you know, no, the fanny bag's not 2A. What you're getting at is a secondary bag. It's not a bad idea. And in many ways, the pouches on plate carriers and stuff can function as that. You could fit almost everything you need in one of those things. You could put electrolyte tabs. You could build out like a secondary bag that's even mini setup of what you already have. But in case you guys haven't noticed by everything I'm talking about, I'm a huge fan of being a minimalist with this stuff. Because I think too much stuff is going to make you crazy. Oh, you gave Cassie another idea. She's gonna have another bag with a whole bunch of stuff, with canned goods. Fanny bag with canned goods. You know, if a lot of people, you know, they put simple things in there because morale and brain function and other things, like you talked about books, you know, maybe you need some sugar. You need 5 or 8 or 10 packs of bubble gum. That's something. Maybe you need 7 or 8 or 10 Snickers bars. You know, keep those. You know, If that's something that's going to keep your morale up while you're moving, that's something to consider. If you want a chance to win the Condition 1 case, please head over to my last post in Condition 1s and comment and tag. Comment and tag if you want a chance to win the Condition 1. I mean, this stuff's important. But for the most part, I'm a bigger advocate of being minimum. If anybody wants to debate me on it or has an opinion or, maybe has stronger thoughts on it, I'm not opposed to having the debate. But you have to understand something. You're not going to convince me that if it's a bug-out bag and you have to move, to the point that I think 2A was making. Oh, good. If 2A's post was slammed, we'll give it away. If Condition 1's post, you have to start to think in terms of what that'll look like and what that'll be. You moving with all that gear. And how you're going to move. Because let's say an EMP goes off. Let's play into Cassie's theory. Let's say you have to get out of your house. How are you going to move? No, Cassie brought it up. That's the reason. Cassie brought it up. And I think it's a good topic. I think it's a good topic to discuss. It's a fun topic. It's a fun topic, and I think it's worth talking about. And we can have a little fun with it. Now, the extreme preppers and the guys who get crazy. Okay, let's get into that. There's the extreme preppers. Okay? The extreme guys who have, like I said, months and months and months of stuff. That's not bad if you're going to fill the bag right then and there. But it could potentially be a problem if you have to move. It could be. What are you going to do? How are you going to move? What's that going to look like? So you have to think it through, guys. You have to think it through. How you're going to pack, how you're going to move, it's a 2A, it's a good question. It's a great question. And I don't think enough people think about it. That's why my pack is so minimal. I'm about 240 pounds. I can get a lot of gear on me. I can put a plate carrier on with 3 shingles right in front, three mag carriers. I could put a drop leg on. I could put all that stuff. I could put all that stuff on. Do I have extremely high-level training? No. Am I well-trained? I'd like to think I'm a little bit of an asset. And I think you're going to have to do some critical thinking. I think your brain is going to be the most important thing. But if it doesn't fit on your body, man, yeah, I have a truck, okay? I can throw a lot of shit in my truck. So if the truck's operational, the first thing I'm doing is I'm throwing a ton of fluids in. If I have to leave, if it's truly a bug-out situation and I have to leave, I'm going to put tons of fluids, tons of that stuff, liquids, everything. I'm going to throw every protein bar I have, boxes of it, every piece of jerky in the flatbed. I'm going to stuff it. That's going to be my biggest concern. Then I'm probably going to grab every brick of ammo I can, because that's your tradable commodity. And shit, if I have my truck, I got plenty of guns. We're way beyond 3 guns now. We're at 20. Somebody brought up earlier a shotgun. I don't think a shotgun's the way to go. I think you're going to want something lightweight, 223, 22, something you can shoot game with. I mean, a scatter gun's good. For that fewer rounds, it's not worth it to me. You can pretty much take down anything in North America with a 308 up to a 300 Win Mag. A 223 is going to be very serviceable. Very serviceable. In a handgun, yes, you're going to have 9mm. You know, would I consider my 10mm in my car and the 2 bricks of ammo? Sure. But it depends where I'm going. If I'm going in the mountains. A shotgun would absolutely be a hassle. I do not think a shotty is a good survival-based weapon. You can't take too much of a long-range shot with it, and I don't think most people... You know, I've had this talk with a lot of people. Most people are never going to take a long-range shot anyway, but they seem to think they will. They don't have the skill set for it. But I don't think a shotgun makes a lot of sense. It's a luxury at that point. You know, case of shells becomes a luxury. Yeah, I mean, if you have a truck and you can throw it in the back as a tertiary or fourth weapon, okay. You know, a good knife, good utility blade, good fixed blade, or 2. You could put a lot of blades in your bag. You know, I would dump, probably like the third or fourth thing on my list is I would take 4 or 5 extra blades, because those can always function. And that would always be good. Oh my God, it's Jason Bourne. So the Condition 1 case, and I would appreciate it, you know, you guys, we had a good talk. If you head over to YouTube and share this, head over to iTunes and leave a 5-star review. Much appreciated if you do. Really appreciate it if you do. And I appreciate everyone who heads over to Podbean and downloads. Podbean definitely needs some love. If you head over to Podbean, I would appreciate it. So let's see. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we have on Condition 1. And how that's doing. Okay, we have 2,100 comments. It's a lot of comments. Here's what we can do to give it away. I'm going to sign off from here. I'm going to sign back on. Tap hearts, invite people in, and we'll give away the Condition 1 case. I'm going to take a 2-second break and come right back on and head over to YouTube and share, comment, and tap thumbs up. And we'll pick a winner if we have a deal. So hopefully everybody understands what we're getting at with the Bugout bag. I want to take a minute to thank the sponsors. I want to thank Kenzies Optics. Big thank you to Kenzies. Taurus USA, thank you to them. Can't do it without Taurus. And Crossbreed Holsters. Of course, Crossbreed Holsters. Love those guys over there. Head over to Crossbreed Holsters to show them some love. And of course, a big thank you to Riton Optics. Big thank you to Riton. Love those guys. Appreciate everything they do for me and for the show. Matt Cope says, don't forget to practice with your bag. Practice is everything. Everything. Let me get the guys back on Instagram. And let's see. We'll give away the Condition 1 case. Cassie's back. So I'm going to give you guys, while we start to wrap up this topic a little bit, we start to wrap it up a little bit, and I'll give you my final thoughts on prepping. Okay, do me one favor. Head over to YouTube and share. Okay? Tap thumbs up and subscribe. And I'm going to give you my final thoughts. And if you haven't in a while, head over to iTunes and Podbean and make some noise there. Okay? And I'm going to give you my final thoughts on this. So prepping, here's the deal, guys. Prepping in Bugout bags, it's all what you feel you can travel with the easiest. You feel you can implement the gear you feel you can implement the easiest, and you feel you can utilize the easiest. And we're just talking about Bugout bags. It's not a time to start to pack the frivolous stuff. It's not a time to be like, geez, I'm going to pack my favorite book, because it's not going to be realistic. You can debate, and the reason I kept this debate so simple is you can debate all day long the luxury items that you want to pack in a Bugout bag, and you can debate the luxury items that you want to have. Well, I pack 14 cans of Progressive soup. I pack, 18 this, 19 that. All these different things. What's up, Nick? All these different things that you pack or you put into your storage or whatever you're storing, that's what makes this a fun topic. You can debate them all day long. I am far from an expert, and I don't know everything about it. I do know this. I don't want to pack. Yes, it can easily turn into 3 hours. I don't want to pack 47 hours of stuff, and I don't want to pack, 47 million pounds of stuff, and I don't want to be like packing a cheese pizza. It's not realistic. So when you get into these extreme preppers that have thousands of rounds, and they have 47 frozen pizzas, and they have 18 pairs of boots, it's not completely realistic. It's not completely realistic. I would say some of the most overlooked things are fresh socks, fresh underwear. There's too many scenarios, Mark. What I'm trying to boil this down to is the most basic scenario. And the most basic scenario is, what bag can I grab in my house and run out the door? Okay? That's the most basic scenario in my humble opinion. So in operating in that most basic scenario, and I know Cassie wants to get into the do you have 5,000 rounds of it? People put amounts, they peg amounts in their head. I need 4 weeks of food. I need 40,000 rounds of ammunition. I need 47 pairs of socks. And I need 18 gallons of ice cream. You don't have to peg, there doesn't have to be a pegging of amounts. Stay on the surface, okay? Basics. If I have 200 to 300 rounds of 223 ammunition, chances are that's going to be enough. You're not going to frivolously just go outside and start spraying rounds down the street. That doesn't happen in even any movie. So stick to the basic scenarios that you create in your head, the most basic scenarios. Okay, there was a cataclysmic event, whatever the event is, hurricane, devastation, some level of devastation, and I need to get out of the house, and I need to go somewhere where it's safe. What do? We can sit here and we can review medical equipment till we're blue in the face. We can review all of those things. We can talk about ponchos. We can talk about cold weather gear, warm weather gear, all those things. But there's common sense things. Of course you should have layers on. Of course. It's been a while, I've been having the grinds. These are where it's at. Caffeine. I recommend, if there's basic things here that I'm overlooking that people just getting started prepping may not understand. Of course, you should have layers on. If you can leave the house with 2 pairs of socks, leave with 2 pairs of socks on. If you can leave the house with 2 pairs of underwear, have 2 pairs of underwear. Cassie, a fishing kit, stop it. Stop. You're not going to pull up to a creek and go fishing. Okay? Let me explain something to you, Cassie. Let's say, let's operate in your scenario. A nuclear bomb was just dropped. Okay? You going to pull up to a creek and go fishing? Stop. That's not a bug-out bag. That's not a bug-out bag. What that is that's you relocating, and you now created a relocation kit. You now created a relocation kit. Daryl says, I've recently packed. I have hunting clothes, socks, plenty of 22 and 9mm ammo, lighters, 8 MREs, purification straw, blanket, med kit, IFAC kit, and a couple bags with a few things for my daughters. Beautiful. And 2A says, if a bomb drops, I ain't going outside, so your fishing kit is shit out of luck. Could you have some fishing line, Cassie? Sure. But I don't foresee you going fishing. I'd rather have 5 or 8 cans of tuna, but I'm not going fishing in a creek after a nuclear blast. That sure as shit isn't happening. That's not happening. No siree. No way. Yeah, if you have a line and a hook, then you're good. Pretty much. He says, so can opener, strong knife. Yeah, utility. Utility, you're going to want to have, I mentioned that, you're going to want to have like a, multi-tool. So think about these things, guys. Think about these things. There's a million ways to do it. A million ways. P38. So we're going to give away the Condition 1 case. This was a great topic. Thank you, Cassie. This was really a great topic. I appreciate it. You did a good job. Cassie, I'm sure you have reasoning for everything that you've packed. I'm sure. I'm sure of it. I don't doubt it. I'm sure you have great reasoning. But we're going to wrap this up. And Cassie, because you picked this topic, and because you won the big prize last time, I'm going to have you pick the winner of the Condition 1 case. You're going to do it from my last post. Okay? So if you haven't commented, give everybody 45 seconds to comment on my last post. So my last post, we're going to pick the winner. Okay? If anyone hasn't commented on my last post, go do it now. We're going to give away a case from Condition 1. It's a $100 value, Condition 1. It's a case that can get beat up, thrown down wherever. Condition 1. We'll have some fun. So Cassie's going to give you 30 seconds, everybody, to go comment on my last post and win a Condition 1 case. Okay? This was a good topic. Really good topic. So, you have to be here to claim, Mark? I don't know. Let's see. Let's see who Cassie picks. Let's see who Cassie picks. And we'll go from there. We'll see who Cassie picks. Hopefully everybody had fun. Hopefully everyone enjoyed it. Hopefully everybody got their got some input. I think this was good. It was fun. It was a fun topic. Again, you know, you can go in a million directions with this. You know, there's so much. There's so much. And we could waste hours on this. You know, so much time. But that's when you start getting into all the crazy scenarios and the crazy planning. So, could be fun. Could be fun. So let's see if Cassie has a winner. We're going to pick a winner. We've been going at it for an hour. Make sure you head over to YouTube. I'm going to take a minute to thank the sponsors. Again, Kenzies Optics, Riton Optics, Taurus USA, and of course, Riton. Thank you to all of them for supporting. Guys, without them, it wouldn't be possible. You have to remember that. Keep it in perspective. Condition 1, make sure you guys thank them in the stories. Daryl, Taurus, and CZ are two different companies. You know, these are all cool topics, and if people have topic suggestions, I'm always all ears. I'm willing to get into them. It can be a lot of fun. It's a great topic, Brandon. This was a good one. Make sure you head over to YouTube. Tap thumbs up. Share, watch, pay attention. Shares go a long way with me. A few shares, guys, all the time. Head over to Podbean. If you hadn't head over to Podbean, downloaded the app, take a minute to download the app on Podbean. Please subscribe. Subscribe to YouTube. Share on YouTube. Comment, tag after we sign off. All that stuff matters. If you haven't left a review on iTunes, all you guys, I give away weekly prizes to iTunes comments. I haven't had a good iTunes, and we were just recently listed as one of the new and noteworthy. So please head over to iTunes and do me a favor. Leave a review. I watch those all the time. Leave a review. If anyone in here hasn't, I give away prizes all the time to people who leave iTunes reviews. I've been stuck at 91 for a while. Help me break out of it. Okay? A few 5-star reviews. Be greatly appreciated. So if you head over there, leave a review. Appreciate it. Much appreciated. I appreciate it when everybody does that. means a lot. You know, all those people that take the time to do that, that's what keeps it going. Not everybody can get in here during the show, I know that. So I really appreciate when everybody does. Thank you. I'm doing a better job, guys, when you tag me and stuff, of leaving those tags and making sure I share it into my stories. I try to share the stuff you guys tag me in into my stories. If you take the time to tag me, I'll share it as best I can. So, I appreciate it. And yes, good luck to everybody. But if you just take a minute and you do the YouTube, the Podbean, all that stuff, it goes a long way. It means a lot. I was recently featured on iTunes New and Noteworthy under Sports and Recreation. I was featured as one of the, newer podcasts coming out there, and we're getting a lot of traction. So I appreciate you guys doing that stuff. Please, please, please take a minute to download YouTube in their feeds. Archuka, you'll be getting a DM inbound. You are the winner. You are the winner. Condition 1. I'll be sliding. Please give the companies a couple weeks. People come in here, and I can't have people worried about where their prize is 3 days after the contest. Give it time. Okay? I don't touch the prizes most of the time. 99% appreciate everything. I'm going to sign off. Appreciate everybody. Thank you guys. Have a good night. It's a lot of fun.